Good afternoon, the MML. Whoop, whoop. It's playoff time once again. And we're going to have a look today at the Challenge playoffs. And wow, what a season it's been. We've had some amazing carnage, some exciting games, and we are down to the final 8. And obviously what we're going to have a look at today is just have a quick look at the teams. And I will obviously give you my humble predictions and what I think of each team and the matchups. Since I'm by myself, I did write down a list of things like stats and all that, because I love my stats. So we'll have a look at them as we go along. And some interesting stats as well, I must say. So we'll have a look at that as well. So the draw was made. Obviously, it's a seeding draw. Fire Salamanders, they was top seed. And apparently, the way it works in the MML, top seed and seed 2 cannot face each other until the final. So they've both been kept on opposite sides of the pool. So, interesting. Vice Salamanders will play Stompers. And the interesting thing in this is, 2 of these first round matchups are actually divisional games from the divisions, because the Salamanders played the Stompers in the divisional rounds, and the Cowboys played the Bandits in the divisional round as well. So there's only the bottom 2 matches where they'll be playing against each other the first time this season. So I thought that was quite interesting as well. I've also got the Goblin Gambling, the fun competition we do as well. I've got all that down there. Who thinks what as well, who thinks will win it. Just as how can I put it? Because I've got nobody else here with me, it should be able to give you a bit of idea what the MML community thinks who will win. So let's get on with it then. So the first game is between it's the top seed, Fire Salamanders, and they've been very impressive, and they play Stromdorf Stompers. So let's go to them to start off with. Now, interesting things about the Stromdorf Stompers. I have their stats. So their record for the season was 1-6, drawn none, lost 1. The only loss coming to Abomination Nation. They scored 11 touchdowns this season, and only let in 1 touchdown. So that means they was the best. They had the best defensive record in the Challenge League this season. Only 1 touchdown. That is an amazing performance from 7 games. And obviously that touchdown came against Abomination Nation. Let's have a look. They've given out 13 casualties. So casualties are things like badly hurt. So stuns and knockouts don't count. So it's obviously the red, the Red Cross. So they've given out 13 casualties and received 10 themselves. They've killed 2 players. They've lost 1 player to death, what I do believe was the last game of the season when a skink was killed. They've run for 630 yards and only passed for 4 yards. These 2 teams have previously met this season, and the Fire Salamanders beat the Stompers 2-0. Will that have a bearing on this game? Who knows? I'll let you decide that yourself. Key player, I think, and I picked a key player for everybody, all the teams, just the one, and there's a few players you could pick. But for my first one, it's not really that surprising. The key player for me is the Salamanders is Uwe. He has 210k in his salary, so he gets paid big bucks for a skink. And as you can see, he's agility 5, strength 3. He's got sure feet, and he's got dodge. He's probably, if he rolls if he rolls another normal roll, he'll either go for sprint, I would imagine, or failing that side step. But he's got a big role to play, because obviously agility 5, strength 3. Obviously, agility 5 is always a funny one for me, because with them having stunty, agility 4 is just good enough because they can go 2+ everywhere. Agility 5 only really comes into it if you're passing the ball or you're leaping, and he's not really designed to do any of them 2. And obviously with only 4 yards passing all season, you feel if he's passing, it's a last ditch attempt because something's gone wrong somewhere. So is the extra agility blow? I don't know. I'll let you guys decide. I think if this was agility 4, strength 3, and another funky skill would be good, but again, agility is a roll of 11, so you'd have to take a normal skill. But then again, would agility 4, strength 3, short feet, sprint be a lot more dangerous to scoring, especially on the 110ers? I think it probably would. But either way, he is a great player. He's played 25 matches, 10 touchdowns. So, you know, an amazing 810 yards running overall in his career. So, you know, this guy runs and knows where the TD line is. He's a big player, and he's one of the main reasons why they've probably done so well this season. And again, he's going to have to keep him safe, because there is a few pieces on the Stompers team what could really make a mess of him. And obviously the thing with Skinks is, so the strength up's nice, obviously, but again, strength 3 is just a normal strength. It's an average strength for players, so, you know, it'll give him a little bit of protection, but not as much, I don't think. He's a big player. He's decided on Mario to go with guard. I do believe that was the guy he wasn't sure who to go with, whether to go guard or break tackle. He's decided, obviously, to go guard, and I think that's probably to do with the Stompers having so much guard, and he wants to get himself a bit more guard. Obviously, pardon me, they are strength 4. He does have a strength 5 in Andy as well, as he's got break tackle. So, you know, worst case scenario, he can actually cage dive in on a 4+ on a standard cage. He doesn't have any like ball removing skills like strip ball, tackle, wrestle. But, you know, a 2 die, who knows? You know, how many times do we see blodgers get powered? Quite a lot. So he's got that option as well. I think guard's a good piece as well. Nothing exciting about him, but he does have stamp and guard. You know, if a Conor cage is cracked, he can go in. Then all of a sudden you're asking the humans to, you know, dodge away with a -1 for a preemptive tail, or knock it down. And if you knock it down, he's stamp arm, so he's only going to get back up. He's have to break his armor. So guard could, if as long as he plays ball and doesn't go bonehead that often, he could be a good piece as well. Like I said, when we did the pre-cap, you know, I did touch on this team, you know, but you know, I thought the big three of Rang, Bill Cow, Power Hour, and the Widowmakers would have too much. Oh no, that's completely the wrong division. Bloody hell, you can tell I'm getting old. My apologies. In this division, the two I was looking at was the Stompers and Abomination Nation. Vice Salamanders is one of those dark horses, and they've done really, really well. They have done really, really well, and he's a lovely guy as well. So I always like cheering on the good guys, you know. He's improving all the time as a coach. He's got an amazing record. And when he played against Abomination Nation, I didn't see that game, but apparently he ran him close, and it could have easily ended up a 1-1. So, you know, being able to go toe-to-toe with a team with all that strength, a former champion, obviously he has quite a bit of Mighty Blow and Claw as well, and that amazing beast, you know, that will land him in good stead for the playoff run, knowing that he can basically take on, you know, some of the best the MML have to offer. So yeah, I like this team a lot. We'll go through the Goblin Gamblings after we've had a look at the other team. So let's go to Stromdorf Stompers. Now, when I did the pre-cap, I know the team I thought would be the biggest challenge to the Abomination Nation was this team. Really well built, had loads of guard, had an enforcer, and you know, he plays humans very, very well, does Hornet. But let's have a look at the stats for him. 1-3, drawn 3, lost 1. Now he did actually draw against the Abomination Nation, but he did lose to Fire Salamanders, who plays obviously today, I do believe, 2-0. He's only scored 7 touchdowns and he's let 5 in. So, you know, doesn't score loads, but 5 touchdowns is still a decent effort in defense. You know, it just probably makes it out a bit worse because obviously we've compared him with the best defensive record in the CL. He's done 9 casualties, but this is the worrying thing. He has received 21 casualties this season. Jesus, that is a lot of casualties. So they are being put through the mire. I mean, I was like, is that a mistake? But apparently he isn't. He's lost 1 player to death as well. Sorry, No, he hasn't. He's killed one person and he's lost 3 to death. So yeah, he's been through the mill. 512 runs running the ball, and again, like the Lizards, have only passed 4 yards this season. His TV is 1630 compared to the 1910 of the Fire Salamanders, so he will get a bit of inducement. He'll get 280. People will turn around and say Bernie, he's got bloat and all that sort of stuff, but you know what? A lot of teams are bloated because they want to get a transfer, so I'm just calling it as it is. It's just so much easier to call the TV as it is, even if it has got bloat. Like I said, the previous meeting 2-0. Like I said, it's got a lot of guard, so you'd think with this sort of guard, he should be able to at least sort of bash with the Lizards if need be. The key player for this team is Horst von Hack. For 2 reasons. It's agility 4, so he knows how to score. He's scored 11 touchdowns in his career. He's caused 21 casualties and killed a player as well. And he's got 446 yards in running, so he can do it all. And the interesting thing is he does have tackle and mighty blow and piling on. So he's the guy who can go around, especially on defense, trying to injure skinks. And you sort of think if he can get hold of Uwe, then the Salamanders are going to be very worried if Von Hack gets the power or knocks him down, because mighty blow with piling on against the stunty AV 7 piece would be a concern. Like I said, the Uwe is strength 3, so at the moment it's just a 1 die, but if he gets assist, obviously it could be 2 die, obviously. I like this guy. He does everything. He does everything, and if these humans was my team, I would certainly be looking on defense, going after the soft targets, trying to get as many skinks off the pitch as possible. Because he does only have 2 break tackle pieces. What's not bad, but everything else, all the other Lizards and all that, haven't got it. So, them dodging away would be quite hard. So you could try to, personally, tactics-wise, if I'd go defense first, try and get rid of a lot of skinks, go offense second half. And if you haven't got as many skinks, then it's going to be a lot more easy to be able to control your drive. And this guy, to me, is the potential of this team losing or winning. That's how big I think this piece is. I really do think if he has a bad game, I can see them losing. It's as simple as that. And they've got an ogre as well, always good. Strength 5, goodness there. Same as the Crocs go, he's got guard, and he's got obviously stand firm as well, so that's pretty good. Really don't like the diving tackle on Grolson. It's a strange one for me, that. It wouldn't be so bad if he went block then diving tackle, or wrestle diving tackle, or give the catcher some protection first, especially since all the injuries he's had this season. So that's a bit of an odd one for me. I like diving tackle, and he's got it on a blitzer as well here as well. But before protecting your catcher, I'm not a fan of that. Catchers to me, I'd have to go wrestle dauntless and be that blitzing ball removal piece. Or if you're going to try and annoy people, then you probably go block, diving tackle, sidestep, that combination. You could even go wrestle if you're against a ball carrier, try and drag him down and get the ball loose. But I think that's a massive risk going diving tackle first. He obviously thinks he needs that before block. He'll have a plan, and maybe he's thinking, what? If I can somehow tag the skinks with this guy, then it's going to cause him a lot of problems. And that maybe, I don't know when he got the level up, but if he only just got it, there's possibly he might have done, then that would make more sense why he's took down attack before anything else. His sole purpose is to stop them skinks. Or even just click on a Saurus and say, what, for that turn, I need you to hold him so I can score. I don't know. But it's a good team. It's going to be a close game, this. I know it was a 2-0 to the Lizards last season, but as I said to Pally, I said, look, I backed the Stompers in this, and there's a few reasons about the Stompers in this, is that I play in a lot of leagues, and Champion Ladder, I know it's a completely different kettle of fish to MML, but whoever finished the top seed after the normal rounds, went out almost first round every time for some reason, whatever. And I'm talking about some of the best players ever on the Blood Bowl pitch have got in, stomped everything, hardly gone through with hardly any losses. Everyone thinks, wow, they're going to win the cup or whatever, or the league, and then for some bizarre reason it doesn't go right and they go crashing out first round. I've seen it too often, and I know there's going to be a lot of love on the Salamanders, and rightly so. You know, they've best defensive record. You know, they've beaten the humans before. You know, it's really, you know, I get it, but you know what I'm like for the fluff, and I get drawn into these things. I am a stats man, and you know, if funny enough, if Five Salamanders was probably second seeds, I may have backed the Salamanders. That's how stupid it sounds, I know, but you know, you got to go with stuff like this. The only other thing I will say, if he's going to get inducements. Now, obviously, more times everyone's like, first thing, get a wizard, and yeah, I get why wizards are all popular, and we all love wizards, especially on if you're a rat coach or a wood elf coach. But if this was my team without inducements, bear with one moment, I would probably go with Zug. I don't take Zug often, I'll be honest. I'm more of a Griff fan, although he's a lot more money. And even if I had to, I don't know, I think you're probably up to afford him anyway, but even if he was 10, 20k, I'd pay it. Because Zug has, obviously, block, mighty blow, but he has strength 5, so he would be another big strength advantage to this team. You know, and that would really make him a nightmare, especially with all this guard, and an ogre as well, and more importantly, would give him a bench as well. It's a no-brainer to me. I would take Zug in this, because it's good to have a bench. And the thing is, this game could go into overtime, so the more players you've got, the better chance you have. And the Five Salamanders, one thing I didn't pick up on when we look at their team, they did have 11 players, but he has bought an extra skin to get that bench. So he's thinking smart in that way, like, you know what, I need the extra bench. This team is good enough to take the ball off without the wizard. Zug would be my call for definite, you know, but we'll see. He's probably more likely to go maybe wizard 2 babes. What would be fine, would be totally fine. But to me, you know, if you can somehow go toe to toe in the middle, with the lizards, then to me Zug would be huge. Absolutely huge. And it gives you 3 dice on skinks as well. Gotta love that. Because obviously, you know, when he's on an offense, he may have Von Hack with the ball, with him being agility 4. Edwin Advar has a big part to play as well with his Dauntless as well. So how did Goblin Gambling have this game? Let me have a look at my trusty little book. Right. There's 18 votes. Salamanders, 14 people think the Salamanders will win, and 4 people think the Stompers will win. And the Stompers, 3 of the 4 people said the Stompers would win 2-1, including me. For the Salamanders, the most popular score prediction was 9, and that was a 2-1 grand for the Salamanders. But obviously, with V Power V doing so well in Goblin Gambling, I thought it'd be interesting to see what he thought would be the result. And he's gone for the 5 Salamanders, and he has gone for an interesting one, a 3-2 win for the Salamanders. 2 people went for the 3-2, so that is interesting. And someone went for a 3-2 Stompers win. Do they know something we don't? Wouldn't that be an exciting game? 3-2. So obviously the 5 Salamanders being top seed, a lot of people are on the 5 Salamanders train. They do have, like I said, the best TD defense in the challenge comp, and you can see why people are going for him. Like I say, me personally, if it was my choice, I'd go Zug, but I've got a funny feeling we may see Wizard and 2 babes. So that's the first game of the schedule. 5 Salamanders vs Stormdorf Stompers, and whoever wins that game will play the winner between the Plague Ridden Cowboys, what obviously is my team, and the Wet Bandits. Now, it's always awkward when I buy myself and I have to talk about my own team. Hate it, I'll be honest. So, let's have a look at the stats for the Plague Ridden Cowboys. If I can get my book out. Right, okay then. So the Playground and Cowboys record for the divisional season was 5 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. The loss coming to the Snoopy's Revenge, and the draw, ironically, was against the Wet Bandits, who they play this first round. 10 touchdowns scored this season, only 3 allowed, so not the best, but I think I was 3rd best, so I'll take that. 26 casualties inflicted, 9 casualties against me. I killed 5 players, and I lost, and they killed 3 a man, what I think was all rotters. 572 running yards, 4 passing yards. There's something about 4 passing yards in the playoffs. 1800 TV. Previous meeting, like I've already said, it was 1-1 between these two teams. And the key player for me, and it's interesting because it's my team, and it was a close one between 2 players, Ramjet and Mad Frankie Fraser. But in the end, I went for Mad Frankie Fraser. I think, you know, the people from the old MML know how fearsome this guy was. And I think the new guys are starting to learn how good this guy is. Worrying that he was really flat in the last game of the season, and he wasn't exactly at his best against the Rats, although he did, I think, -1 AV one of their Rats. But his record altogether is pretty good. I mean, 58 casualties, 10 kills in 62 matches is brutal. And the thing is as well, the way I'd look at this, and if the Cowboys wasn't my team and I was looking at this, you know, as just reviewing it, the Cowboys have got to get the attrition. And this guy, he's their enforcer. You know, as much as people say about, this team's scary and all that, a lot rides on his shoulders almost every game. He's the guy who the coach says, look, man, you've got to get me the number advantage. You've got to take out their enforcer, or you've got to take out their best player, or you've got to do something to give us that edge. And, you know, majority of the time he does get it done. And obviously, it's no surprise that Frankie Fraser will go hunting for them gut runners. You know, he's a big player, and you know, the way Blood Bowl is, me personally, I know the time's going to come where he is going to get killed, or he is going to get so badly modded that he retired, and it happens to more. That is the just the way Blood Bowl is. But he has given me so much joy ever since we bought him from Thunden's team, one of his Nagel teams, and he has been a flag bearer for the Cowboys for a long time. And, you know, as a coach, I'm saying to Frankie, look, forget last game. You know, this is it. These are the playoffs. It's time for you to, you know, on the big stage, show everyone what you're made of, and try and get me that elusive big W if I can. Obviously, another interesting thing as well is all the tentacles. I've gone for a tentacle theme. Yeah, I could have gone tackle, but I want to do the theme. I mean, tackle would make these so much killier. That basically means any, like, a blodge or elf or anything who would, you know, they would just get wrecked as well. So I thought I'd try something different, a bit more thinking. We'll go for tentacles, and tentacles done quite well. And interestingly as well, the Fight Talkers have a couple of strength 1 pieces due to obviously injuries. So strength 4 tentacles is quite good, and obviously strength 5 is huge. So I've got 2 strength 5 tentacle pieces, this guy and Hold Your Horse's partner. And then obviously you got your 2 strength 4s as well. So the problem is trying to catch them. That's the thing. When you're moving 4 and 5, they're moving 9. It's pretty tricky, isn't it? Deadwood Dick's been an interesting one. He's killed 2 players. He's a fowler, but now he's the kicker as well. So be interested to see if he's any good at kicking the ball. So yeah, it's a good team. 240k in the bank. Again, you know, I could probably spend 20k, 30k maybe, if need be, if I wanted to. But obviously I'm saving for a big player. So, you know, I'll carry the bloat. The only other thing I will say is, if someone said in advance to me and said, Benny, you're going to go with 2 team rerolls all season, I would have laughed at them. It's a well-known thing that I do not play with 2 team rerolls. I have to have 3. I don't know if it's an OCD thing or whatever, but I have to have 3. So to go for the full season with only 2, and still have 2, I'm like, oh my god, how have I got to this place with only 2 rerolls? And that is one of my few worries today when I play, apart from obviously the gut runners, is I've only got 2 team rerolls. And our fan factor's the same as well, so yeah, but it's not a bad team. Hopefully we can go through the playoffs unscathed on the big pieces, and then obviously we can build and hopefully get better next season, whether we're in the pros or in the CL. But yeah, that's my team, and we'll look at the Goblin Gambling after we have a look at the other team, what is the Web Bandits. Now, when you look at the Web Bandits, you see their team and you think, oh my god, you know, they are busted. They are really busted. The problem is, yeah, they are busted, but, you know, these strength ones aren't going to make much difference trying to score. You know, if you're moving 10, you point and click, and you've got a leap and you jump over the defense, you know, strength doesn't come involved in it at all. And he's really smart because he's got that number 3 gut runner. It's all built on that 110 defense because obviously you go and kick, and then he's got the kick return, so he moves 3 squares, and he obviously moves down. So he's going to be able to pass it to his number 4 gut runner quite easy. And when I saw him play against Mumbo first, Mumbo absolutely destroyed his team. I think he had maybe 2 or 3 players left on the team, whatever it was. And he still scored 10-16. That's how crazy it is. This team was never defeated last season either. So let's have a look at the stats on them. The Web Bandits, won 4, drawn 3, lost none. 16 touchdowns they scored, so they've got a lot of touchdowns. Let 11 in. They caused 16 casualties, was very good, but they also had 16 casualties put on them. And they killed 4 people. Yes, Rats killed 4 people. That's only 1 behind the Plague Running Cowboys. 864 yards running, 58 yards passing, so they can pass if they want. The TV is 1770, but you've got to add 100 onto that because of the learners, so they will be 1870. So that technically they're 70k higher than the Cowboys. Previous meeting, as we've already discussed, was 1-1 between these 2 players. Now, the key player for me, there's only one. It's GR 1.2. He is the point-and-click gutter runner. He does it extremely well also. He is an amazing piece. I know a lot of people don't like 110ers. I've been getting banter or hate mail for my 110er in the charity event. But, you know, they are what they are and they're just crazy. 35 touchdowns in 23 matches. OMG. That is a ridiculously good record. You know? An amazing record. And when I've seen Fight Tucker play, he plays very typical, as probably Rats should play. Run away from the opposition, make sure they don't get to him, and then we'll just score on 10-16 or 10-8, and we'll get something from the game. And it's worked most times, and he's not been beaten. You know? I mean, the other 3 gut runners as well can do that as well. But the other 3 would have a slightly more of a problem because obviously the disturbing presence and everything like that. So for instance, for the other 3 gut runners, for instance, I might be tempted to bring my defense up instead of being on the line at the back. Where this gut runner, you'd probably have to set the back and go, you know what? Pray and hope. You know? It's a great player. I would imagine that the Apple will be saved for this guy and this guy only. I can't really see the Apple being used on any other player, even a death. Because this guy is their most important player. This guy can do it by himself. I'll be praying for him to be splattered. I'll be praying for him to get perfect defense. Because I think my team with all the tents and the disdain presence could shut this guy down. Unless I get really unlucky. But again, you know, I'm clutching at straws if I'm hoping perfect D will save my bacon. It's a great player. Other great players, and one he really does like is this number 9, the Vamp Rat, agility 4, strength 4, dodge, wrestle. You know, he's really dangerous. I'm a bit concerned with this guy because if he dives into the cage, what he could do and has dodge, he could cause a bit of problems. He really could. And obviously he'll get 2 die against anything I've got because Ramjet usually carries the ball for me, and he's a bludger, but he's only strength 3. It's a funny one because, like I say, you look at this team and you think, oh my god, it's battered all over the place. The Cowboys are pretty healthy compared to these, but it's the speed, isn't it? It's the speed and the potential to score. My Nagel are not, well, none, very, very rare do you see Nagel teams built to score a lot of TDs. You know, this team could quite easily score 2 touchdowns. Even if we just say he scores 10-8, 10-16, that means Nagel, to put it into overtime, would have to score twice. And then hope they win the toss, because if that number 4 gets the ball, good luck trying to stop him. It'd be interesting to see what he does inducements-wise or anything like that. Last time I played him, I think he went in with the 2 learners and then bought players to get a bench in the inducement phase, I think. So there is that. But the issue he's got there is obviously if he does it that way, because he's the overdog at the moment, then I would get inducements myself. But he could possibly slash his cash, his 270, because he said he's not bringing these back next season in the pros. Even if they made the pros, he's got, I think, a Case-Dwarf team sorted. What is a very nice Case-Dwarf team. So basically, he's got nothing to lose. So out of all the people with all these big bloaty banks, he's one who could cut it down. And if he got a wizard, then I'm in a bit of trouble, aren't I? Because a wizard would be scary. But if he goes for a wizard, he's not going to have any bench. And you know, my team got a draw when we wasn't our best against them. If we have a going day where we get a lot of removals like we did against, say, Cav Archers, High Elves, then obviously we're going to have a big chance of going through. It's a really, really close game, I think. Goblin Gambling, though, they're not so sure it's going to be a close game. I'm a bit surprised, considering both these teams ended in a 1-1 draw. Let me tell you what they think. Right, 18 people again voted. 13 people thought the Cowboys would win, and only 5 thought the Bandits would win. And out the 5 of the Bandits, the most popular score was 3-1 and 3-2. So 3 of the 5 Bandits think the Rats will put 3 TDs against the Cowboys. The Cowboys have let in only 3 TDs all season, so that's a very big call. But again, if anyone can do it, it's going to be the Rats. And yeah, if I let in 3 touchdowns, I probably will lose the game. I don't think this, well, never say never, but I don't think this Nagel team is built to score 3 touchdowns. The most popular result, and it's a whopping 12, and it also has the VPowerV approval, #4Horsemen, is the 2-1 win for the Nagel. They're expecting the 2-1 ground, they're expecting the Rats to score, and then hopefully the Nagel will then have the ball, score, and then score again, and somehow stop the 1-10er scoring. So there you go. And for the first time ever, Panda has predicted me to win a 3-2. Bless her. I know I've made it when Panda is tipping me to win, so I'm much appreciated with that one. But again, 3-2. I don't think my heart could take it in a 3-2, but I'll take any win. So there you go. So the gamblers a lot more confident than I am, and hopefully I won't let my my fellow gamblers down there, and hopefully we'll get the win. Right then, so that's the first part of the draw done. The Salamanders and the Cowboys and the Bandits and the Stompers. Now the second part, and what a juicy first game here. Abomination Nation #4Horsemen versus Revering of the Dwarves, the Dwarf Nation, or #Dwarf Nation, whatever you want to call it. So let's start off with the Abomination Nation first. So let me get my lovable stats up for these. And obviously these are a former champion of the MML, this team. And obviously coach. Their record was 5 wins, 2 draws, no losses. So they went undefeated. And the only team to beat the Five Salamanders. They scored 8 touchdowns and they only let 2 touchdowns in. So to my knowledge, that's the second best record in the Challenge League. They caused 23 casualties. They received only 5 casualties. They killed 4 players. Dream killer. Shit, I did 5. Maybe not then. They lost only 1 death. That's pretty impressive with having all them rotters. 536 running yards. No passing yards. This team does not throw the ball. And the TV's 2-2-10. Was quite high, but hey. Very, very tough team to play against. This is one of the teams I did not want to play against. You've got one of the best coaches in the MML by far. Former champion. This team is amazing. And I'm not saying that because he's a 4-horseman like I am. I try and look at them as neutral as possible. But if you look at the team, I mean, this guy, seriously. Guard, block, pro, stand firm, tentacles, mighty blow. He's got the lot. You know? Wouldn't surprise me if he rolls another double and gets bloody claw. I don't know. But what an amazing piece he is. You know, they've got enough guard, and what a bonus this was, wasn't it, on your ball carrier. He rolls agility as legend status. That is amazing. And it just, he's got enough claw. He's got 3 claw pieces, number 2, number 7, and number 11. Now, the key play to me, after a lot of discussion in my mind, I decided not to go for number 8. I went for this guy. Number 11, Cardell, the disoriented. Yes, probably the most maybe famous rotter, or the most feared rotter anyway in the MML. This guy, I picked this guy because he's a talisman, I think, to be Power V. He loves this guy, and while this guy is still there, live and kicking, doing his thing, he is a key. Now, if he was to go splat, or if Rivang splattered him, maybe that would send shockwaves through the team. So, you know, what a career this guy's had. 56 matches, 36 casualties. He's killed 8. 121 injuries as well. That includes stuns and KOs. And I put down here talisman. He is the talisman of the team. If Rivang really want to, you know, knock V-Power V off his A game, or maybe his V game, then taking care of Cardell and breaking Cardell would really be a massive blow to Abomination Nation. This guy just does it all. And he's got horns as well, so obviously when he blitzes, he's strength 4. So he can pick and choose targets. And the thing is with the dwarfs as well, that you know, I see this all the time. Dwarfs hate anything with claw, and dwarfs go about really hating chaos and Nagel because of that, because they're usually stronger than them as well. That's the other issue as well. This is a really good team. It's got the ball carrier. It's got it. But Blodge won't say much in this game because it's against dwarfs, but it's got the punch. It should be interesting what he does with Hector the Porix. I think he scored the winning touchdown in his championship, but he has got a minus on strength now. He does have block and he does have big hand, but to me, I think you've got to let it go. And I won't sing Let It Go, although I wish I... Should I? No, I won't. Just let it go. And that would save him 80k as well. I really like the Abomination Nation. There was my bankers to get through in the divisional. I did tip them to win the division. They came second, only just behind the impressive Fire Salamanders. But yeah, this team must be one of the favourites to win it all again. And I will be very surprised if we don't see this team in the pros next season. Right, so they're up against one of the most famous dwarf teams in the MML, Rivang of the Dwarfs. Good old Roy Kiwi. We don't need a win. We want blood. Well, technically today you need a win if you want to chase that glory of a championship gold, sweet gold. And he's good enough to do it as well. He beat Bill Kawapara was Chaos. He beat them badly. He gave them a right bloody nose and beating. So my opinion is if you can beat them, then you can beat Abomination Nation because both of them teams are just as good as each other. So that was impressive. Although he did get a bit of a whooping against the Widowmakers, Watson-Eggle team last game of the season. And that was his only loss. He won 4, drawn 2, lost 1. Very, very impressive record in a very tough division. He scored 10 touchdowns. He let 7 in. He did the same amount of casualties as Abomination Nation, 23. He received 10 casualties though. And he killed 5 people. That, you know, people who say Mighty Blow is not a kill skill, well, there you go. He killed the same amount as I did. You know, 512 run yards, 14 pass yards, TV is 1870, but you've got to add 70 onto that because he has to have a loaner, so it'd be 1940. So he doesn't have much of a wiggle room against Abomination Nation like a lot of teams would have. At the moment, he's got 270. If V-Power was to get rid of, I don't know, that strength 2 piece, then he would only have 190. Not much you can get for 190. You know? Wizard, maybe. One of those bulldozer death roll things. That'd be good fun. I'd be tempted with that, but I'd really want a Brab to go with it as well. But this team itself is really, really good. My only, and it's a massive concern I have when you go against Claw, is you have no bench and you're slow. So if Abomination get on a roll early and they take a few of these pieces out, then all of a sudden gaps will appear. Now the good news for Rivang and Roik is Nagel aren't very fast either. So you know it's not like against Rats or else where if you lose a few plays you're in a whole world of pain. He's got plenty of Mighty Blow. In fact, he has more Mighty Blow than the Abomination Nation. He might have actually the most Mighty Blow than anyone in the challenge. To be fair. With how many has he got? 6? Yeah. He's got some strength upgrades, what's very nice. Gel strength 5, obviously Phallic strength 4. Kajel, the runner, very important, has strength 4 and has fend as well, what's nice. And if everything goes bad, Hail Mary as well. Punchy got a level up against the Widowmakers, so he's got Mighty Blow, what will help. Now, when I went for the key player for this team, it's really hard to pick a key player because there's so many pieces here what needs to do a job to make them successful. And the one I probably picked is probably a bit surprising to a few of you, but I've gone for Falak as the key player. I think to beat the Abomination Nation, if I'm looking at this through, if this is my team, I've got to get removals, you know. And this guy has Mighty Blow. He has got Strength 4, so against a lot of opposition, he will have 2 die against them, and he does have Pylon as well. So he's got the best chance of removing players. And obviously, if Cardell or the AV7 killer get into this guy's range, there's a very good chance this guy can take that piece out. So to me, he's got a lot on his shoulders. If he can have a good game tonight, I'm not saying tonight because obviously I don't know when they're playing, but when they do play, then he could be a big reason why they would win this matchup. Statistically, pretty solid, you know. 30 casualties inflicted in the season. He's only ever killed one thing in 78 matches, but he is still, to me, an enforcer. He has done 135 injuries in 78 matches, so it's still good. And obviously, he wouldn't have blitzed as much because obviously the team's well balanced. So, you know, like for me, for instance, I would use Mad Frankie Fraser more than any of the other players, where on this team he would probably share it around more because it's a better balanced team. But to me, every time I've got a chance of Falak getting involved on a juicy target, I would be blitzing with him because he's got more potential to get the player down. Yeah, that's the guy I've gone for. They've definitely got potential. I mean, when I thought I was going to play Revang, when I was doing like the mock exams of where everyone was playing, I thought I was going to play against Roy. I went back and watched the game against Bill Cow Power Hour because obviously that's a very similar team to the Nagel teams, if not more powerful. And you know, his removal dice were on point. And if he can get them sort of removal dice as he did against Bill Cow Power Hour, then this team's got a huge chance because obviously, you know, it is a numbers game, especially with slow teams. If you start getting the advantage against slow teams, you know, more times than not you'll get a positive result. Like I said, he's got the strength, he's got the guard, he's got the mighty blow, he's got a nice strip baller in there as well, got some cheeky stand firm, 3 stand firm in there. And that's the other thing good about Falak, is if you blitz Falak, he's strength 4, so it's going to be hard to get a shot on him. But if you do and you fail, then you either got to stay there and get a potential mighty blow piling on hit back, or dodge what could cause a turnover. Or what usually happens is I must dodge because I don't want him getting hurt. You fail the dodge and then you injure yourself anyway. So I like Falak. I think he's a really big piece in this cog. I believe Abomination Nation are the favourites out of the two, but you know, Revang on the day could win. Right, what do the gamblers think in this one? Because I thought out of all the 4, the Goblin Gamblers might have this a bit more closer. And to be fair, they do. Abomination Nation have 11 votes and Revang have 7. The most popular result, and it's quite close to Abomination Nation, is 5 people think Abomination Nation will win 2-1, and 4 people think Abomination Nation will win 1-0. 2 people think he'll win 2-0. I was one of those who thought Abomination Nation would win 2-0. Revang, their most popular win would be a 2-1 win to them, 4 people. Although Panda thinks the Dwarfs will score 3 times and win 3-2 in an amazing game of Blood Bowl. And the only other result was 2 people think Revang would win 2-0. They would stop the Abomination Nation from scoring. So there you go. It's going to be a close game, this. This is a game I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to all 4 games, but I think this one, you know, it's a really close and key game. And like anything in playoffs, you know, it could go either way, couldn't it? Right then, the final game of the round sees Snoopy's Revenge against the team I always have problem pronunciation. Vermin Similitude of Bot, who needed a win last game of the season to get in, and he got it There was a chance 10-16 for Defiance and Necro to score, but they didn't get it done, and the Rats got through. The problem was they lost their Strength 4 Might Blow piece as well. But before we get to them, I guess we better have a look at the Necro first. So let's have a look, and let's have a look at the stats for these guys. Right, so their record was 5 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. They lost last game of the season against their Cavachas High Elves, and 13 touchdowns, 8 against, 27 casualties. 27, that's the most, I think, in the Sea Ladder pool here. They received 10 against them. They killed one thing. They lost, one of their guys died. 700 run yards, 14 pass yards. Their TV's 1850. Key player, there's only one key player in this team, Amaris Fangless. What a player, what a career. This guy obviously was with Don Eagle, and he is a former MML Pro champion, this player. But yeah, Strength 5, Agility 4, Wolf with Bludge. What more can you say? Does it all. 42 matches, 34 touchdowns, 37 casualties, 6 kills, 5 crowd safes, 1,742 yards running. This guy does it all. And when you play against this team, the game plan has to be, how do we stop this guy? And the thing is, people say, if you stop this guy, we stop the Necro. I sort of agree with that, but I still think they've got enough there now to be able to go without him. Wet Dog obviously is agility for Dodge Wolf, so he's a nice backup. His 2 whites, both got guard, both of them at 7. One's got Mighty Blow, what's good. The interesting one to me, though, is this guy. Number 8, Perry the Decrepit. Pass block? Really? So, I was like, right, okay, I like sneaky things. Momo likes sneaky things. I've got to decipher why the beep did he pick pass block on this guy on a double. So that basically means he has forgone dodge. A bludge, stand firm, golem is amazeballs, but he hasn't gone for that. This guy even ain't got block yet, so he is at the mercy of a lot of teams because he has no protection. So why go pass block on a guy where if he's already marked up, he needs, what is it, a 5+ to dodge? Or is it 4+ to dodge, isn't it? And I thought, I wonder if this is a sneaky plan for when people do 1-turners. But then again, I was thinking to myself, is a handoff classed as a pass? Because if it isn't, then my evil plan sort of falls flat on its face. But my thing was this, is if people do the 1-turn, obviously he's going to be on the front line because he's got to stand firm, and you obviously have to go and get the ball, and you've got to throw the ball, haven't you, to obviously catch it and go and try and score. So if they're throwing the ball, he can move this piece. So if they've got this guy in a square, so they can chain push easy. Obviously, they won't be using this guy to chain push, but they'll be blocking a very important square. And all of a sudden he goes, you know what, thanks very much, I'm going to just dodge out the way or move. Doesn't matter if I fail or anything, because it might mess up your chain pushing for your 1-turn attempt. Then, you know, that's amazing, because that'll probably stop them from the 1-turning. That's the best I could come up with why you would take pass block, apart from it's fun. The other option is obviously if he's nearby where the ball is, or you know, or if he puts him somewhere where he thinks the ball's going to get thrown, he obviously gets to move 3 squares. But again, flesh golems are usually in the middle, or they're in the thick of the action. They're not easy to dodge out the way, or without break tackle move them anywhere. So yeah, I'm really confused of why you would take that, and that's the best I could come up with, is on a 1-turn attempt it could really mess people's day up, because when they're past it, he can move this guy, you know. So that's all I could come up with. If anybody knows anything better, or if Mumbo wants to tell me himself, then by all means, please do. So there you go. Great team. How many Mighty Blows has this got? 4, 5, hasn't it? Yeah, so still not as enough as Roy. Roy has the most. So yeah, it's an amazing team, and oh god, it's a nightmare. I'm so glad I don't have to face him. Right, so he's against the rats, and oh man, these poor rats. They lost one of their best pieces last game. The strength 4 might blow Stone Vermin. Let's have a look at their record. 4 wins, no draws, 3 losses, 11 touchdowns scored. Not many for a rat team, that. 9 against them. They caused 10 casualties, and they had 32 casualties against them. Maybe that's why they've hardly got any players. That is a ridiculous amount. And they haven't killed anything. I think this is the only team in the challenge who hasn't killed anything. And they've lost 6 to death. Horrid. 484 yards, 20 pass yards. TV's 1020 plus 200 for the learners. So they'll be on 1220. So they'll get 630 in inducements. It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. They need to be credited for getting through a ridiculously tough division, and to be in the playoffs is an amazing feat with what the team had. Obviously, they beat Bill Calparo 3-2 as well, so that's a huge win there. And on the day, Rat can beat anybody, and Rat can go toe to toe. If he can score in the first 8 turns and maybe 1-10 in the next 8 turns, that's 2 touchdowns. It goes to overtime, wins the toss in overtime, wins 3-2. Or he has a wizard, bumps the wizard, turns him over, scores, goes 2-0 up. There's a lot of things you can play on. I know it's all ifs and all that and what and maybes and that, but there's still a chance. Rats are very dangerous, like in my game. Even when rats are beaten up, they are dangerous. The key play for me on this is Hertz. Hertz. None of them really stand out, but the reason I picked this guy. 11 touchdowns in 15 matches, what it is, pretty alright. He is the best chance for 1 turner because he's a blodger, he's got sidestep, and he's got 2 heads, so he can go through all the traffic and all the tackle zones and everything. And I think personally, this guy you've got to keep safe, or he's the guy who has to have the ball and say, right, win me this round, this match. He is very important. If the Apo, I'm almost tempted to just use the Apo on this guy, but we'll see. Inducements are going to be big. He's got over 600 in inducements. I really hope he can go for the chef, because the chef has been just completely wasted against this powerhouse of a team. A wizard should be one thing. It could get a mech rat, or it could get a big rat ogre. It could get the other gut runner with a stab, but obviously it's just another gut runner with preemptive tail. But another thing what could be interesting is the strength 4 juggernaut Glart smash rip. What could do a number on some of these as well. This team's definitely not out of it, and I think they are a big underdog, but even the underdogs can bite once every so often. Goblin gambling for this game then. This one I do believe was very one-sided, I'll be honest. As I go through, where are we? Yeah. And there's 19 people who voted for this one, because obviously this did not have anyone in the Goblin gambling. So Snoopy's Revenge has 17 of the votes, and only 2 people went for the rats. And the 2 people who went for the rats was Andy, obviously the Squirrels coach. He said the rats would win 3-2, not a bad shout. And Beers, who thinks both rat teams will win, and he thinks they'll win 1-0. I'll tell you what, Beers, I will be gobsmacked if there's only 1 touchdown in this game. Really will. V-Power V, obviously the guy who knows his stuff, he said the Necro will win 3-1. 2 people thought that. The most popular vote was 7, and that was for the 2-1 win for the Wolves of Smoopy. And there's 4 2-0s in there. I think I went 2-0 in my game. I thought it could possibly shut out the Rats, but I think that was because I forgot about the inducements. But it's in now, so there you go. So there we go then. That is the schedule of the first round. I want to wish them all the best of luck. My predictions to whoever wins the full thing, it's really hard because you don't know who's going to lose whatever, but I'll try. I think Stompers will shock the Salamanders. I guess I've got to go with the Cowboys against the Bandits. The Nation will beat the Dwarfs, and Snoopy's Revenge will beat the Rats. In the semi-final, the Cowboys will beat the Stompers, and I hate to say this, the Nation will lose to the Snoopy's Revenge, and I think Snoopy's Revenge will beat the Cowboys in the final. Easy as that. So there you go. I just think Monmo's a class coach, and there's a lot of class coaches in here. The problem is none of the rest of us have a strength 5, agility 4 wolf. Now if that wolf was to, I don't know, get bolted and gets injured or whatever, or something bad happens to him in the first game, then that would change it, and all of a sudden you'd think, oh well, if Nation get through, I'd fancy them against the Necro. But you can't go on that, can you? And the good thing for the Revengers, they're at home, so they've got the Squid Kiosk, so no rocks allowed this round. Anyway, that's me done. Let me know what you think. Put a comment below. Tell me who you think will win. Best luck to everybody. 2 games of today. That's the Cowboys versus the Bandits and the Salamanders versus Stompers. Good luck to everybody, and may the best team win. Take care, guys. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you for the pro video shortly. Bye bye.